Respected seniors, colleagues, and dear friends, greetings from the Maharashtra Ophthalmological Society. Friends, we believe that some institutions are not just built with bricks and mortar, but they are born out of vision, courage, and purpose. They do not merely treat patients, they transform lives, redefine systems, and inspire generations. Sankara Nethralaya is one such extraordinary institution. Founded on the profound vision of Dr. S.S. Badrinath sir, it stands today not just as a center of excellence, but as a symbol of compassion, innovation, and ethical care. From a single dream to a globally respected model of eye care, this journey is not just about growth, it's about values that never changed, even as the scale expanded. Today, through this special conversation, we are privileged to understand the soul behind Sankara Nethralaya. Because when we listen to such journeys, we don't just learn medicine, we learn purpose. It is our privilege to have with us today three stalwarts of the institution who have not only led it forward but have truly embodied the values of Sankara Nethralaya. Respected Dr. T.S. Surendran sir, who is the chairman of Sankara Nethralaya, we welcome you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Respected Dr. Girish Rao sir, who is the executive medical director, Sankara Nethralaya, we welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And respected Dr. Ronnie George sir, he is the director of research, Sankara Nethralaya, we welcome you, sir.
Thank you.
Before we begin, a brief introduction. I am Dr. Ranaga Herur, the president of the Maharashtra Ophthalmological Society, and it's a privilege to be a part of this conversation. I am joined by my co-host, Dr. Prashant Bavankule, who is himself a distinguished retina surgeon with a strong association with Sankara Nethralaya and brings with him extensive experience and valuable insights. We look forward to an engaging and insightful discussion with all our esteemed guests. Thank you so much and welcome you all once again. My first question is to Dr. Surendran sir.
Please.
So let's start from the very beginning. They say every great institution begins with a defining moment. So what was that defining moment or vision that led to the birth of Sankara Nethralaya?
Actually, when I joined Dr. Badrinath in private practice in a hospital, Vijaya Hospital, there actually he operated His Holiness Shankaracharya, the senior pontiff, and his deputy suggested to Dr. Badrinath to stop his private practice and to start an institution. This was all happening between 76 to 78. 78, 6th of September, he formed a group of philanthropists and the board was created and it was named as Medical Research Foundation. So Sankara Nethralaya is a unit of Medical Research Foundation.
Okay.
And he had the vision and mission and he had a good number of people surrounding him in the early phase. So Dr. Chandran Abraham, to name a few, Dr. Mary Abraham and myself, etc. And this vision and mission, once he created, I think he switched over to this campus, 1979. He switched over to this campus, which is a small building when Bavankale was there. But later, I think he was such a dynamic person. 1983, he built a Venugopal block, which is only for vitreoretinal services. That was inaugurated by King of Spain.
Oh, wow.
And MGR, the chief minister, ex-chief minister.
Yes.
Then followed by 1985, Ramnath Iyer block, where I am sitting now.
Okay.
And 89, it was 93, it was Maiko block. Like that, you can imagine, every 5 years a 5-story building was created. Then 98, Wellington was acquired. Then later, Calcutta 2 centers, and then we had in between some center in Rameshwaram, and also we still have one center in Sri City. And this is how he evolved with such a fantastic pace. We are just taking the legacy, and right now I think we are having a hospital in the North Madras, what we call as Agastya complex. It was a theater, and we have now started the construction. It will be almost 100,000 square feet, going to spend
Oh my
100
God, that's
crores.
huge. Huge.
So this is the huge project with the present team, what you see.
So this has been a great journey, sir. But what do you think at the in the initial days? What could have been the challenges? I mean, in the form of financial or societal or infrastructural challenges.
Dr. Badrinath had only one this thing, hard work as the uh,
Mantra.
mantra. Hard work, hard work, hard work. And initially, one Mr. C.U. Shah gave 10 lakhs. So most of the places you will find his name, even your postgraduate training center and also outpatient clinic, the
Mm.
letterheads all are named after Mr. Shiv Shah. This 10 lakh seed money was a very big amount. And then we had a very big land, almost 30 grounds in the heart of Chennai, that is Nungambakam. And
Okay.
this place actually was owned by one Mr. Manakji. And this we got it through one Dr. Babu Rajendran, who was our ex-consultant.
Mm. 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 Mm.
From that, I think the journey started.
And what made sir believe that such a model would work in India? I mean, was it there was a precedent to it,
It
or
is the divine blessings, that's all. Once I think Jayendra Saraswati Swamigal has told him, so he attributed mostly to the spiritual background of this whole project. And then he put his hard work and he believed the main thing of Dr. Badrinath's success is he believed the people, trust. He
trust?
had the trust with every one of us. To that extent, the people like Dr. Manju Kulkarni, Manju Kulkarni is from Maharashtra. She was also one of the early consultants. Then Dr.
Mm.
Sridhar Rao, he sent them to Boston without any bond. And
Oh,
3 to 4 months of training in glaucoma, cornea, etc. And I was also sent to Boston. So he did not believe that this fellow will cheat and go like that.
okay.
He believed them and then sent them and started the departments. Like that, I think each department started on its own.
I
We
think
have
the
now
great
12
combination
subsidiaries.
of divine blessings, his own hard work, the great team, and belief and trust.
And
That's
his
commendable.
speed is just unmatchable. Because the moment asked me whether I can do squints, I told, no, sir, I am not fully confident because I got exposed in government ophthalmic hospital where only horizontal strip is missed. Later, immediately, the same day, he rang up All India Institute, Director L.P. Agarwal, and he told that I am sending this fellow. Please train him under Professor Prem Prakash. So that was the speed. For 1 year I was sent. That sabbatical only made me to become an employee 17. So
Okay.
such a, why I am telling this, that the trust he has. And the people are also very committed people. The people who joined him in the initial phase, very committed people, in compassion, the way he handles the patients, everything we learnt. And he was mastery in the indirect ophthalmoscope. You can just see with one bend or a serrata. You show with the side mirror. And you
Yes.
gave enough opportunities. And the first gonioscopy I did was on a very senior managing director from a Bombay company. And I created a little abrasion and all. I think this is apart. Such confidence he develops. And you put a patch and sent him off. And next day he was all right.
I,
But this is how he trained the people, groomed the people.
really amazing, sir. Nice to know. Dr. Prashant, you're
Yeah.
mute.
TSS, sir,
Yes.
you have been employee number 6. Rather, you are amongst the first few people, disciples to an associated who have continued with him, who continued throughout his lifetime, so close to him. Many people, many new generations feel him as a very strict disciplinarian who would enforce discipline and hard work into it. But we would expect you to share some personal attributes as a good human being. What was it that kept you bound to this holy man? Rather, I would not call him chief anymore. He's now an holy man to every one of us.
No, personally, lots of
What was
incidents.
that?
Lots of incidences. First incident I remember was that one of his patients developed endophthalmitis. He went to the patient's home and started applying a drug called vancomycin. It was chloromycin those days. And he made sure that the endophthalmitis is resolved. 24 hours he stayed with the patient. This type of
Dedication.
sincerity, I don't think. And personally, I think I was a blue-eyed boy. So I have not had that much of this thing with him. Otherwise, he's a very tough man. I'm sure Bounkley knows how tough he is with fellows. But I was a little exception. And I think personally, I think my daughter had pancreatitis. And he was the first one to come to the hospital, even before my parents or my wife. Apart from that, I think my son, when he was born on a Diwali day. And first person to come to the hospital to see him was Dr. Badrinath. And he came from San Francisco the previous day. Very next day, he had to go back to San Francisco. He came and
That's why you have named him after him.
Yes, my son's name is Badri.
Wow, so nice.
Badri Surendra.
Like a very close-knit family, actually.
Yeah, very close to the family. And hundreds of times we have gone together. Almost 30 times I would have gone with him to see Kanchi, Sankara. And the Tirupati trip, Bombay. He is actually a very big beggar, I tell you. So for the successful completion of this project, you need money. So he never believed hospital money to be pumped in. So he started getting money. But mostly, I think he was traveling to Bombay. I have gone to Bombay and a lot of concerts he has conducted. He is a giant in all aspects. So personally, I have shared with him. And once I shared with him in the conference where he was using just a table lamp and just requested me whether this will be disturbing you. That was the only time I was his roommate. I told him nothing, no sir, carry on. And he was reading only a storybook. Next day he had a paper on angiogram, fundus fluorescent angiogram. And the early morning, 5 o'clock, he has got up and he was washing all his undergarments so that he brought. These are all very personal. But how simple he was, I wanted to convey.
Humble.
Humility to the core.
Yeah, I can share the similar one experience because wherever Chief used to travel, he would always stay with the fellow instead of going and staying in best of the hotels. And every time I still remember when he first visited Nagpur, Dr. Anaga and Dr. TSS as well, everyone knows, for the sake of audience, he stayed with me in a very small flat which was less than 550 square feet in one of the bedrooms. And he would take a pride in it. And he would shower so much of love and affection not only to the we as a fellow, but as a whole family. He would become a family. And he would be the first person, like he would bow down and touch the every day my parents' feet and seek blessing, though he was so taller than in every aspects compared to my parents or whatever be it, I should say. So that is his humility and his greatness as a human being, I should put it across. So coming to the next question.
Anecdote.
Yeah.
I think I had already shared with you that he stayed with Dr. Sridhar Rao in a single bedroom apartment, lying on the floor along with Madam. And he never wanted Sridhar Rao and his wife to vacate the room. So that is the simplicity with which though we had arranged a Marriott hotel from the hospital side. Okay, carry.
Okay. So the next question is, what do you feel in your journey was the core value which he has instilled in amongst all the people who are working with him that define Shankar Nethralaya even today?
Actually, in simple terms, as I told you, his vision and mission was very clear: eliminating the avoidable blindness and to give to people who cannot afford. He wanted to give the equal treatment and getting the right people. He developed the bioengineering department right in 79 itself with one Mr. Santosh Kumar. You might have been aware. And bioengineering department is as good as an ophthalmologist. He will take care of minor problems and semi-major problems. Then he will just shoot some pictures and send it to Carl Zeiss or Organ Laser Company, etc. When you are part of such venture, your personal ego, everything is gone. Because he himself doesn't have ego. That was one thing I wanted to share. And we had the best equipments. All instruments were Rolls Royce, and the best in way back in the Octotome first vitreoretinal machine was installed. Though Arvind had another instrument, but this was the topmost instrument that time to do the vitreous surgery. Like that, I think microscope was imported, and he conducted series of workshops. The first workshop was 79, along with our Agarwal Eye Hospital. And we had the low vision clinic, which I had, which I was converted into a live telecast to the people in Agarwal. Agarwal people, I think the surgery was done in Agarwal. We had seen it in Nethralaya, like that. That sort of workshop he had conducted, and series of August festivals, the academic these things, and then simultaneously he started the teaching programs. Then he got permission for diploma in ophthalmology, DNB, then FRCS, and the first this thing to start was his love was for vitreoretinal. Even I joined as vitreoretinal fellow. So vitreoretinal fellowship he started, and the first four people were, they have, I think, shown very well. And last year, the first oration was given by Dr. Ravindra, second oration of Dr. Badrinath endowment lecture.
Okay, great, absolutely.
Any personal anecdote or moment that you had which helps you in understanding his philosophy, which has been imbibed in you, sir?
No, automatically once you are with him, I was a different personality altogether. Once you are with him and you are almost, I think, I never spent that much time with my SON. SUN. So I spent most of the time only with Dr. Badrinath. The family was gone. 7 to 10 p.m. we used to work. So once this thing you imbibe automatically all his qualities. Most of the qualities I have acquired. Of course, not that vision aspect. He was extraordinary that way, thinking ahead and then keep on jumping and then trusting the people and all. So he gave me a lot of opportunities. Made me the medical director early in the 90s, and then vice chairman, and then presently I was elected by the present board. So the opportunities were plenty. Once he starts believing you, he will take you to the sky.
So it's quite humble of you that you say that you do not have a vision as much as Dr. Badrinath. Yes, Dr. Badrinath was exceptional, but the way you people are carrying forward the legacy now, uh, we have no doubts about the competence and the efficacy and that's only your humility that you are trying to say that I do not share as much vision as Dr. Badrinath. That's your sheer love for him or respect for him. Over to you, Anaga.
Yes, yes. Dr. Girish, a question to you now. Sankara Nethralaya is known for its system-driven excellence. So, how did it evolve from a vision into an institution of national and global importance? What was the journey from there?
So I think the transformation of Sankara Nethralaya from a single Visionaries vision into a world-renowned institution is basically a combination of spiritual purpose and clinical discipline. I think Sir has already spoken about the spiritual drive that was there behind setting up this, but I think it needed much more than that. And the clinical discipline was what Dr. Badrinath brought in abundance. So he was very clear at the very start that the clinical care that would be provided would be the same of the highest standards, what he saw and what he imbibed from the US. And he wanted that for each and every person who walks in through the gate of Sankara Nethralaya, irrespective of their socio-economic background. So that's why when we started off, we never had a separate paying or a free wing. Every patient walked in, they were seen by the same set of consultants using the same infrastructure, the same equipment, the same facility. And in a way, it was a Robin Hood kind of a system where the paying patients cross-subsidize the free patients initially to start with. And over a period of time, this kind of set the ball rolling for the organization. But as Dr. Surendran said, he also needed a team because he realized that the country at that time was wanting in tertiary ophthalmic care, while cataract and refractive corrections were pretty much available everywhere. But the concept of vitreoretina, glaucoma, corneal transplantations, neuro-ophthalmology, uveitis, optometry, these are all concepts which he brought into the country through his very clear vision of, and this happened in phases. So right from starting off with the CU Shah postgraduate program, he got in very early the fellowship programs, and most of the top luminaries of Shankar Nethralaya, Dr. Prema Padmanabhan, she is actually a vitreoretina fellow. Dr. L. Vijaya, she is a vitreoretina fellow. Dr. BSR, Dr. Surendran, I'm sure, has assisted him in many vitreoretinal surgeries. So initially, everyone had that vitreoretinal surgery background, and then they joined the organization. Somehow he was able to enamor the people joining him for the fellowship. Maybe he had the knack of identifying and selecting the people, the right people with the right attitude to join him in the fellowship program. And then he was able to sell the idea of working for a non-profit, working with a combination of academics, research, and clinical care in equal abundance without looking only for the for-profit or a higher salary. And that's how he got luminaries who joined him in the initial years. And that's how he was able to convert this into a momentum and into an institution over the past 4 decades.
So it must be so difficult to manage such a huge institution, especially on such a model. So what do you think were the key pillars that help to make this model sustainable?
I think the most important for any organization, especially for a not-for-profit organization, is if it's able to crack that mantra of self-sustainability. So if you are able to have a system where you keep the cost down for the general public, at the same time provide for the indigent patients or the patients who are below the poverty line. And he was able to crack that. And as I said, he was very lucky to be surrounded by philanthropists and luminaries in the corporate world who gave him the support, the freedom to expand on this idea. And I think Shankar Nethralaya, from the very first, had a very clear vision that about 50% of our OP would be completely free and 35% of our surgeries will be absolutely free of cost. What many people don't know is, besides the 35% of free, we almost do about 15 to 20% of concessional surgeries. So where we try and recover at least the basic cost of the consumables that needs to be done. So in a way, the patient also feel that they are part of the system and the process. So self-sustainability was very important, and that's why he made sure that there was no distinction between the free and the paying. So that was one way we did not spend on building up a separate infrastructure for the free patients. So we saved on that. We used the same infrastructure, the same expertise, and the same manpower, and just worked more efficiently. And Prashant would know that in those days, the OPDs would start at 8 in the morning and go on till 8 or 9 in the evening. The OTs would start at 8 and go on till 10. And someone like Dr. Surendran and Dr. Lingam Gopal would see 100 plus patients in a day, just running from room to room. There would be days when we as fellows would skip our lunch. We would only have something for breakfast and then only have dinner at the end of the day. So that kind of dedication and devotion to ensure that we try to do high volume while trying to keep the costs down, because the cost of the infrastructure and the manpower is fixed. Once you create it, that's fixed. That's going to, whether you see 10 patients or you see 1,000 patients. So that when you see more and more, your costs are going to come down. He also very shrewdly built in parallels. So he got the Medical Research Foundation, the MRF, which looked after the clinical services and the clinical research, the Vision Research Foundation, of which Dr. Ronnie is the president, and which is very clear vertical for looking into basic science research and specifically looking at India-centric research to try and address some of the questions that pertain to Indian ophthalmic needs. And he also had this optometry. So what this helped was we were able to get a continuous pipeline of talent into the system where people came in and they grew with the system. So that was also one of the ways where we could keep our costs down.
I think I would like to correct one thing. I will like to differ from Girish. Rather than being surrounded, luckily, I would not say he was surrounded by philanthropists and good people, because people could see him doing the real, genuine work without any self gain. I think that is why so many philanthropists kept on flocking, and rather they felt privilege in donating rather than doing obliging. That is how I read it as.
Correct.
Absolutely, yeah. So while I'll say that he was lucky with the initial, because as Dr. Surendran said, the clarion call that was given by the pontiff right in 77, 78 was for a group of philanthropists to come and support him. At that time, Dr. Badrinath was only about 3 or 4 years into the Indian ophthalmic scene, and also in a private hospital in Chennai. But then with this support, he was able to really bloom into a world-class ophthalmologist, setting up a world-renowned institution.
Sir, with so much of expansion and growth, I mean, how do you manage to maintain those uniformity in standards and clinical excellence?
Yeah, so one of the key pillars of Dr. Badrinath's learnings was the standard operating procedures. He was a stickler to absolutely the state of the preferred practice patterns. So he made us, I remember when we joined as fellows, he made each department to have a standard procedure written down in a paper for even the most simple thing like a suture removal or doing an applanation tonometry or doing a refraction. There was a standard procedure manual which was prepared, and this was vetted by him and all the senior faculty. So the process of trying to have standardized care across the system. So, and this was copied at all subsequent locations that we opened up. There was a uniformity of this care across departments, across the paying and the free sections.
Sir,
And
are
very
these
early into the
SOPs
system.
same even today?
Pardon?
Are those SOPs followed even
Those are,
today? And
those
are they
are,
the same
those,
or have we made any changes?
absolutely. Those SOPs are followed exactly. I would just say that one of the main differences that we see from other institutions is that we do not have a pre-operative or a post-operative antibiotic protocol. In the sense, we are very, very specific and choosy in using antibiotics for very specific cases. Otherwise, none of our patients in the post-operative care receive a blind antibiotic for a week or 15 days. So those are kind of well thought of processes that were analyzed, studied internally for years together, and then we came out with these protocols. Sankara Nethralaya was the first eye hospital in Asia to have the ISO certification, 9002, way back. So he was much ahead of its time. And at that time, even some of the corporate and multi-specialty hospitals didn't have the ISO certification when he went for it. And this was, I'm talking even ahead of the NABH times. So his vision helped him set up departments for hospital infection control, the hospital safety, electronic medical records. I mean, he was looking at going paperless in the 80s. And it took him a long time to actually bring about a very robust system which can capture each and every aspect of a ophthalmic practice, and also to convince ophthalmologists in the system to move from paper to
Paperless, yes.
because that's always a mind shift change that requires. So that kind of ensured that protocols are maintained, quality is maintained, and it was now very much easier for us to do our clinical audits because everything was on the electronic medical records. So whether the care was for a free patient or a paying patient in retina department or glaucoma, across the thing, everything was very transparent. So in that way, he ensured that there was no compromise on the quality.
Great vision. Yes,
I think, Anaga, I would add to it. See, the SOPs were quite ahead even before NABH era. We started in our hospitals when the NABH enforced on us. Rather, and whatever we learned from Shankar Nethralaya, those SOPs are so deeply ingrained, rather they have caused a total blood transfer, I should say, exchange. Like even today, I use a phaco handpiece for a single case. So in our setup, though we have departed from Shankar Nethralaya way back in 96, I left Shankar Nethralaya. Even today, I can't dare to use the same handpiece for a second patient, unlike the practices across the country. This is the type of ingrained thing which SOPs had created in
those
our mind. So for
SOPs
them,
are
as a
in
system,
every SN fellow is
yeah,
following
they
that.
carry, they can't dare. We feel if I use the handpiece for a second, I feel chief is staring at me from somewhere top.
That's
So,
really amazing.
so coming to now the next part of it, Dr. Ronnie, you are the vertical, you are the head of vertical into research.
Audio is not clear.
Dr. Prashant, your voice is
And you are working innovation work. Can you hear me now?
Yes, right.
Yes.
Now.
Hello?
Yes,
Now
yes.
it is all right.
Now it's
Okay.
good.
So, correct. Chief and Dr. At Shankar Nethralaya, you were doing a phenomenal work way back in that era as well. But that clinical imprint to be imprinted across the world needed some type of a certification, and that is what the research adds to you. Any clinical research or anything. So, how was the beginning of the clinical research in that era, and how do you look at it for the future for Shankar Nethralaya?
So please unmute.
You're muted.
So we did look at this sometime back, and the first few publications that we had were way back in the early 80s. And there was one case report published in one journal. And then it slowly started increasing. And what Dr. Badrinath used to do is he used to hold a research cell on Sundays. So because he says Sundays people are free, we have time to think about it, and people will come and talk and discuss research projects on Sunday. And that was a very ordered, structured way that research started here. So even today, every fourth Thursday of the month, we have a research cell meeting where every project that is submitted for consideration is taken up before it goes to the ethics committee, and it is scrutinized, and that continues. The second thing that he realized is that ophthalmology works with very small amounts of sample, whether it is a corneal ulcer, it's an aqueous tab, or whatever. And when he started practice here, there was nobody who was specialized enough to deal with this. So he said, we have to invest in basic research. And way back in 1983 itself, he started Vision Research Foundation. And that was focusing on microbiology, pathology, biochemistry. Later on, started departments in genetics, nanotechnology, and it never stopped. Nowadays, bioinformatics, we have a department. So as and when required, kept on growing. So from those small beginnings, he kept on scaling up. In 2008, we created a 50,000 square foot space dedicated to research. So for him, he was perpetually pushing boundaries, making us do more than we could, and continue to do that. And even today, we stay focused on that. We have educated more than 100 PhDs in basic science related to ophthalmology. He understood the importance of research and education and marrying the two together. We started a research program in optometry. We had the first optometry PhD in India way back in 2002 or 2003. At this point, we have 9 people doing their PhD in optometry in the organization, in addition to 14 people doing their PhD in other things. So research started that and it has grown and it continues to grow.
Dr. Prashant,
You're muted.
Yeah. Can you highlight some of the key contributions and breakthrough from Sankara Nethralaya as an institution, which has changed the way we look at science of ophthalmology?
So I'll talk to you about a couple of things. And basically, if you think about many things that we take for granted today, for example, the way that you deal with a retinal detachment in a coloboma, that has actually been described first by Dr. Lingam Gopal. And today the world follows what he said. Similarly, when you look at when you have an unexplained bleed post-retina surgery, now you look for a UBM of the sclerotomy ports. That was reported by Dr. Munna Benge. Many glaucoma specialists in the country use short duration mitomycin, just 1 minute, as opposed to what was being done in the West, 3 to 5 minutes. This is because of fundamental work done by Dr. Vijaya decades back, who showed that most of the cells die when you at 1 minute itself in a petri dish. So you don't need to apply mitomycin beyond that. You just have all the risk factors for that. We were part of the group which identified the first LHON mutation for which gene therapy trials are going on now. We are part of the group which identified the first angle closure genes globally. Dr. Tarun Sharma and Dr. Rajiv worked very closely together on diabetic retinopathy. And some of the models that you use today to detect diabetic retinopathy in the clinic are based on what they did. They were also part of the first successful AI model on detecting retinopathy in the clinic. So we have a long legacy of doing innovative research. Dr. JB has worked extensively on Eales disease and serpiginous choroiditis and showed the association of tuberculosis with it. And our PCR work on infectious retinal conditions is huge. The technology didn't exist in India. It was built up in India by Dr. Madhavan. And the lab today is excellent at dealing with PCRs for multiple diseases. So when something was not available, it was innovated. And a lot of these little things that we take for granted in our practice have actually come from work done here.
Yeah, of course. It's the hard work, years of hard work rather, which the small innovations which we definitely take for granted and do not many times acknowledge, we understand is responsible for the ease of surgical procedures to better understanding of the diseases. Well, Ronnie, the last question for you is, how do you see the future of ophthalmology in India evolving, and the place where we can see Sankara Nethralaya next 20 years down the line? In that complete picture canvas.
I think the future of ophthalmology in India is excellent, because compared to 50 years back, today you have excellent ophthalmic facilities in the country. You have places which do state-of-the-art care with state-of-the-art technology. So the technology, the facilities part of it is taken care of in many ways. You also have a few thousand young minds coming into ophthalmology every year, and that's very important. And the third thing is you also have an innovation mindset. So you have engineering, you have tech, you have all these innovations coming too. So you have extreme expertise, you have young bright minds, you have innovation, and also a lot of global R&D hubs are moving to India. So I think this combination will see a huge boost in Indian ophthalmology. You will see a very, very geometric progression of how Indian ophthalmology and Indian ophthalmic research is going to go forward. And in many ways, I hope Sankara Nethralaya will continue to also grow at the same rate or even faster. And one of the reasons for that is, I think, because we have invested in people, we have invested in technology, and we have invested in talent. And we continue to do that. So like I told you, 150 PhDs that have come out of this organization are all leading research programs across the globe. Many of them are staying back with us and pushing programs forward. And that's where we hope to be. We hope to be showing you the cutting edge of things that is going to happen in the next 10 to 20 years. We fund internal research now with our own resources so that we can push things forward. We give people committed time off to do their research. so that we can continue to take the legacy forward. And I think the board, Dr. Surendran, Dr. Girish have all been very, very supportive in terms of our commitment to research and committed to moving Sankara Nethralaya research forward over the next 20 years. And we're going to see those changes pretty soon.
I
Thank
think institutions like Sankara Nethralaya leading us in India has a very bright future in ophthalmology. Thank you so much, Dr. Ronnie. Dr. Surendran, sir, coming to the human side of medicine, what do you think is the kind of culture that defines Sankara Nethralaya today?
I had already elaborately covered the commitment, compassion, etc. The doctors are working for salary here. That is another unique thing about Sankara Nethralaya. And people who look for money, I think they take the training and they can go out and practice. So I think we are not insisting that they should stay, but people who stay, they are made sure that they are satisfied with the salary what they have. And other thing is that I didn't catch you. You were asking.
So, what do you think is the basic culture of Sankara Nethralaya, which each resident or
This
fellow
is
is bound to
just embodiment of Dr. Badrinath. There was one figure. I think we have all acquired most of it, not all. And I just wanted to add that we also had a lot of publications, just adding to Roni's presentation. A lot of publications come from Nethralaya. Roni, if you don't mind, can you just mention how many were there last year and how many fellows were trained here? I think it's almost 20,000.
Yeah, so overall we have more than 3,000 publications. We have seven scientists and consultants in Stanford's top 2% of scientists globally. We have trained over 2,000 postgraduates and fellows. So almost 10% of Indian ophthalmology has walked through these doors.
Publications?
More than 3,000, sir, overall. And in a year, we do about 300 odd.
Thank you.
Mind blowing. It's too good. Huge work, sir. Really inspiring. Dr. Girish, sir, we have seen so many, in fact, now generations of fellows and residents coming here. How do you manage to nurture them and retain the talent across generations?
I think I'll just add one more thing to it. It's just not nurture and retain, but also attract. Because nowadays, with so many options for residents across the country, it's each institution trying to attract the best of talents to their doorsteps. And I think Sankara Nethralaya has always stood at giving equal opportunities to everyone who has the right combination of talent, attitude, and the desire. Talent, because we do screen the residents who apply for fellowship programs. They should have the attitude right, because that's the only way you can maximize your what you learn from Sankara Nethralaya. If your attitude isn't good, there is very little that you can actually imbibe from the organization. So right attitude and the desire to learn, because we have consultants who are available 24/7, either in person or online. So the people just need to knock at their doors and keep prodding them for inputs. So Dr. Badrinath was very clear that he will not compromise on infrastructure or equipment. The best of equipment has to be there at Sankara Nethralaya, and that should be available for everyone. So when we talk about, now we have close to 130 ophthalmologists in the system. Most of them see in 2 rooms simultaneously, and each of the rooms have an art street. So he was very sure that there should be no compromise in the quality of visualization, whether it's diagnostics, the best of the equipments from a Zeiss or an Alcon, or name the top-notch MNCs. He ensured that, so that way he ensured that he was able to attract people into the system. And then the doctors who stayed back in the system, also stayed back because they were given an equal opportunity to blossom into world leaders. So Dr. Badrinath, under his tutelage, you had Dr. Lingam Gopal, who is considered the father of, in a way, the ultimate answer of vitreoretina in the country. Dr. Prema Padmanabhan, who was uh, the Iron Lady of, if I may say, cataract and cornea. Dr. L. Vijaya, the powerhouse of glaucoma. Dr. Biswas. So he was able to retain these people, and these people in turn attracted a lot of talent to come into Nethralaya to learn from these masters. Dr. Surendran, one of the phenomenal, I think he has the world record of maximum number of twins and triplets he has operated upon. I think the number is right now 30 plus, I think.
27 twins,
27.
one triplets.
And so from such luminaries, we were able to attract people and then retain them because there was a very clear career path for them within the organization. There was a lot of hand-holding. So anyone joining as a new consultant was always mentored by someone senior during the initial formative years of 3 to 4 years, be it clinical, be it OT, be it personal. Everything was kind of mentored and then shadowed by somebody. And it was always a teamwork. So we had this concept of departmental close network. So the department meets every week. It would be for discussing a case, discussing an interesting paper, or just issues within the department. So those kind. Then the consultants meet every once in a couple of months, where we have a detailed analysis of our operations, how we are doing statistics wise, finances wise, and we also look at very closely at all the adverse events, endophthalmitis, patient falls, patient feedbacks. Everything is very taken very seriously, and we ensure that it's a very inclusive group. And then obviously we also, after a consultant has spent a reasonable time in the organization, we give them a challenge that they should excel in one particular field within the department. It could be, say, in the retina, it could be genetics, it could be oncology, it could be retinopathy of prematurity, trauma. In glaucoma, it could be pediatric glaucoma surgeries. In squints, it could be someone doing the myopia controls. So that way, and as Dr. Surendran said, they were then sent even to the best of institutes abroad for a period, 6 months, 1 year, so that they learn the best of the techniques there and come and then practice it here and also train the residents, train the colleagues. So this way, it was very cohesive. And we also we know that there's only so much that we can give in terms of salary for these people. But we try to be at least at par with the not-for-profits. We cannot compete with the corporates, but with the not-for-profits, we try and ensure that we are up there so that the needs of the consultants, the staff, everyone is met. And then we give them some additional perks. Perks like sponsoring them for conferences. And some of our senior faculty have 2 international conferences and 5 national conferences every year, which is completely taken care of by Nethralaya, provided they have publications or they have a talk or a video or any of those things. But I think one thing that I want to bring out here, which we have added recently, is we also felt that to retain talent within the system, and I'm not talking of only ophthalmologists, even the optometrists, the paramedical staff, the support staff, we need a very good work-life balance. And what we found that majority of our staff are women and young women. And many of them travel a couple of hours each morning and evening, each way, to come to work. And then they do that 6 days a week. So we have now, since this month, started a 5-day week concept. The hospital works 6 days, but the staff work 5 days. And by rotation, in addition to a Sunday, everyone gets and off within the week,
Okay.
be it from the senior most consultant to the lowermost, provided they have completed a reasonable amount of service. So that kind of helps us retain the people and hopefully attract even more people who share our vision, our mission, and our passion for ophthalmology.
Great. That's a very nice thing to do. I think people would be really happy with that. Dr. Ronnie, how do you ensure the continuity of vision in the leadership, generations of leadership that have come through Nethralaya?
I think that's not very difficult because we are fortunate that we still have senior leaders. We have Dr. Surendran here. A lot of our board still has people who have worked closely with Dr. Badrinath. We have almost all our senior faculty, Dr. Ridmala Subramaniam, Dr. Vijaya, Dr. Prema. Everybody is still associated with us clinically, either full-time or part-time basis. Dr. Bhaskaran, who's Dr. Badrinath's close associate, is also with us in terms of from the research point of view. So they are there to keep an eye on what we do. And they're there, more importantly, for us to ask advice. And since for us the progression has been gradual, you don't feel that there's been a huge change in the philosophy or anything else because we continue to, we are here because we believe in the philosophy. So it's actually not difficult.
Right. Amazing. Dr. Girish, how about the contribution in terms of community and outreach activities from SN?
Yeah. So I think Shankar Nethralaya again has a very unique model of community eye care. Besides the run-of-the-mill camp activities that we do along with NGOs and the government and bus patients into the system, we also have two very unique entities that we do. One is the Mobile Eye Surgical Unit. And I think this was the vision of Dr. Badrinath, where he felt that despite a very robust network of hospitals, both the government as well as the private across the country, there are still about 10 to 15% of the people who are unreached due to various reasons. And then he, along with IIT Madras, came up with this idea of a mobilized surgical unit. So this is a pair of bus which goes to the village and operates at the village, spends about 2 weeks there, 1 week of screening, 1 week of surgery. So the patient just walks from the home, gets operated and goes back home. Patient doesn't need an attender to come. Patient is not, these rural patients are not exposed to the stresses of travel to a urban center and then staying in AC rooms or, herded into dormitories and then, so they have the comfort of their home, of their family. And this has been going on for the last 1.5 decades. And Shankar Nethralaya is the only organization which has the approval from the Indian government to conduct this. And right now we're doing this across 5 states. So this is a unique model. The other unique thing was the school screening program. So I think we started school screening program almost a decade earlier. And we actually hold a link up book of records for the maximum number of single day school screening, which was almost 3 lakh children that were screened.
Oh.
Or maybe 30,000, not 3 lakhs, 30,000 children who were screened on a single day. And this model has now been successfully adopted by the Tamil Nadu government. And they have now segregated districts where the organizations can take up the screening. So this part of a unique school screening is again a model that was very unique, started by SN. Another thing which is unique to Shankar Nethralaya is the occupational optometry. Again, we have this optometry which we know they might be doing just the regular diffractions, contact lens, optical dispensing. But occupational optometry is a very unique branch where our optometrists go to the workplace of the person. So it could be an organized sector like a factory and look at the working conditions of the workmen, look at the ambient light conditions that they need and explain to the management that the light focus, the light can be of a particular wavelength. Also give them glasses depending on which is their core activity, whether it's distance, near, intermediate. And we have now expanded this even to the unorganized sector. Through philanthropic support, we now do this for potters, for sculptures, for salt workers, drivers, auto rickshaw drivers, truck drivers. So these are some of the very unique
Really?
outreach programs, community outreach that Shankar Nethralaya has been doing over the years. And I think if I were to put one thing which makes Shankar Nethralaya outreach program or a community work different from others is that 40% of our community work or the surgical work is on specialty surgeries. So besides cataract, which is done by almost thousands of people across the country, organizations, institutions, individuals, we do free surgeries for tertiary care, whether it would be a corneal transplantation, a complex retina surgery, a squint surgery, glaucoma surgery. And this is done in our same operation theatre where the paying patient is done along with them.
Right.
So it could be done by Dr. Surendran, Dr. Ronnie, Dr. Lingam Gopal, just because it comes randomly in the list. So once the patient is in the list, there is no distinction whether it's a free or a paying patient. So
Amazing.
I think that's the USP of Shankar Nethralaya.
Very inspiring, sir.
So I think many of the audience and especially the young ophthalmologists who are watching here, Dr. Ronnie, this question is for you. Would like to replicate the model of Shankar Nethralaya, but the only challenge is how can I do that, and when should I do that? What would you address them, Dr. Ronnie?
I always felt, and that's what I've seen in this organization, and I've seen it from people who have managed to replicate it, that if you work ethically and you work hard using the same principles that you do here, you will reach there. It might take you a little longer, but you will reach there. Because ultimately, patients come back to you when you're honest with them. And if you follow the same principles that you've been taught here, I have no doubt that you will do that. I mean, you're a prime example.
Oh no, I'm quite a small speck in the whole universe of Shankar Nethralaya. I'm just trying to imbibe whatever chief has taught us and rather ingrained in us, in our brains. We just try to replicate it, but reaching out and dreaming to be a Shankar Nethralaya, I still feel I'm not that capable. But this question was basically for people who get motivated by today's such a inspiring video and the interaction which we had with you people. So I'm sure I'm only inspired. You can see behind me there is Dr. Badrinath over here. The only photograph in my hospital. That is all what I can. I have respect for this place, and I'm sure many more younger people will be inspired more so. Over to you, Anaga.
Yes, now we come to the last part of the program, and that is the rapid fire section, which you will have to answer quickly and in one line. So my first question is to Dr. Surendran sir. Sir, if Dr. Badrinath sir were to walk into Sankar Nethralaya today, what do you think he would say?
Yeah, I will go on the negative side. This 5 days a week he may not have accepted because he always believed in 7 days a week. Because I used to nickname him as Sunday Special Badrinath, SS Badrinath, and in front of him I told him. We took it in a humorous way. So that is one negative thing. Apart from that, he will always be praising the people. If the institution is growing bigger and bigger, he will be the most happiest man. So if he comes now, I think he will be the most happiest man, even more happy than what he was. Thank you.
Nice, sir. Dr. Girish, what does Shankara Nethralaya mean to you personally?
One word, family.
Wow.
I think Shankar Nethralaya has been a family to all of us who have been a part of Shankar Nethralaya. So each and every employee, each and every management board member have been family and very approachable. And that's why, though it's a 5-day week, I come 6 days a week because I can't stay away from here.
Yes, I think mentally we are all, it must be with the institution 7 days.
Yes.
Dr. Ronnie, one word to describe the legacy of Dr. Badrinath, sir.
I think foundational.
Sorry?
Foundational. He's been foundational for Indian ophthalmology. I don't think.
Yes, absolutely. And Dr. Surendran, sir, what would you like Sankara Nethralaya to be remembered for 50 years from now?
We had always been number one as per the week, which is actually an international magazine. So we wanted to retain that number one position.
And Dr. Girish, one moment or experience in your journey that you will always cherish.
I think this was way back in 94 when I was searching for a purpose in life, if I may say. After my internship, I was pursuing for an MD and general medicine. And Dr. Badrinath came to Jalna to Mr. Barwale's residence. And Mr. Barwale called me over for lunch to meet this person. And I didn't know who was Dr. Badrinath. But then that 45 minutes of lunchtime, he was able to paint such a rosy picture of ophthalmology and Sankara Nethralaya that I got completely sold on that idea, and I gave up the idea of returning back to Bombay and took the next train to Sankara Nethralaya and joined the DNB. And I think that changed my life forever.
And that has been the gain of Sankara Nethralaya too. So that is really great. Thank you so much. As we come to the close of this truly enriching and thought-provoking conversation, what we have witnessed today is not merely the journey of an institution, but the unfolding of a vision that transformed into a movement that gently reminds us that medicine is not defined by skill alone, but by service, sincerity, and a deep sense of purpose. Sankara Nethralaya stands as a beacon of this philosophy, where success is not measured only in numbers, but in the lives touched, the trust earned, and the values upheld. And at the heart of this extraordinary journey lies the timeless vision of Dr. S.S. Badrinath sir, a vision that continues to illuminate and inspire even today. Thank you, sirs, not just for sharing your remarkable journey, but for reconnecting all of us with the very essence of why we chose this noble profession. This has truly been a conversation that will inspire generations to come. So, with deepest gratitude from the Maharashtra Ophthalmological Society, I thank you all, Dr.
Thank you.
Surendran sir, Dr. Girish Rao sir,
Namaste.
and Dr. Ronnie, and Dr. Prashant for sparing your valuable time and being with us here today.
God
Thank
bless Maharashtra Ophthalmological Society.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
On behalf of Sankara Nethralaya, I'd like to thank the Maharashtra Ophthalmological Society
Yes.
for this honor. I think Sankara Nethralaya has shared a very close connect with Maharashtra Ophthalmological Society. Many of our alumni have been the presidents of the MOS. So we wish you all the success in all your endeavors, and to Prashant also for his All India Ophthalmological Society journey. And we would like to be a part of any such academic research initiatives that need to be done across the country. Thank you.
Thank you, Girish. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, once again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So much. Thank you.